Hey! Hi, I'm Rindue. Welcome to a new video. For the people that don't know me, I'm an indie pop producer, artist, and songwriter from the Netherlands. I started with posting covers, but then I got a lot of questions in how I made those covers, and I started posting original music. A lot of people really resonated with that music and how I produce my things, and I got a lot of questions in how I make my drums, my vocals, and my sound. So that gave me the idea to make an indie pop producer pack for Ableton. I've been working in Ableton for a couple of years now, and I really love this DAW. Maybe you've seen my videos and seen me work with other plugins and other instruments. So I wanted to show you that you can get the same sound that I use with only Ableton stock plugins, so you don't have to buy some third-party plugins. So this is the project that I've made that you can download. It has a vocal group, it has a drums group, it has a bass amp group, a guitar, and some instruments. Let's start with the vocal chain. I think the vocal chain is pretty straightforward. You have some knobs with compression, slap delay, a bit of room, formant, and some drive. That sounds like this. I'm so tired of the weather here. Baby, we could go anywhere you'd like. I just wanna get you out of here. Baby, we could go anywhere you'd like. I'm so tired of the weather here. Baby, we could go anywhere you'd like. I just wanna get you out of here. And the formant is a really cool texture that I like to use in some of my songs. It sounds like you're pitching it, but you're not. I'm so tired of the weather here. Baby, we could go
Anywhere you'd like, I just wanna get you out of
here. Baby, we could go anywhere you'd like. And then with a bit of slap delay, it's also really cool. I'm so tired of the weather here. Baby, we could go anywhere you'd like. It's just a really cool texture that I like to use. So that's also in the formant preset, and you have the clean. Just a couple of knobs to make your vocals sound really interesting, but also really clean. So that's pretty cool. So that's it for the vocal. Then we have our classic drums. I've recorded these samples myself. I processed them through some tape, to that one. And I have a Tascam vintage mixer. I use that mixer to create some more compression and saturation for the drums to make them sound even warmer than they already are. We first start with the Drum FX kit, which is a preset you can use to shape your drums. I have a transient master, a drive compression, EQ H so you can make them sound older, a crush, the reverb, some chorus, grain delay, and a randomizer. I'll record some drums and I'll show you how they work. So this is the first kit that I made, the soft kit with really soft kick, a roll, snare, my own snare, a ghost one which is a softer one. We have a rim, a floor tom, a rack tom, a hat open, hat and hat. So you can alternate between the hats. That sounds like this. So all clean, no effects used. But when I put the drum effects on it, then I can put the transients down to make them all a bit shorter. Compress them. A bit more drive. Reverb. H. Crush. Bit of grain. Delay. And the random one, I think it's a cool one. I came up with that. It's a randomizer, so when you put it open, it's random in what signal goes through. Sometimes it's a silence and sometimes you get a soft snare, so I think that could be pretty cool in creating something. So those are the knobs that you can use. Let's try the same MIDI with the saturated kit. You You hear that the snare is a lot more compressed without even effects on it. The kick is a bit softer. I think that has to do with the mix that the sample is recorded in. You can change that by going to the kick and put the volume up. Most of the time I record my samples on different tracks, so I can change the volumes better. And then finally we have the alt kit, which has some more snares. We have the kick, which is more of a poppy kick. We have the snare low, which is the same snare as the soft kit but lower and more compressed. Then we have the snare oomph, which has a really nice touch. We have the alt snare, which also pretty compressed. I think that's the main snare combined with another snare that I've recorded a couple of years ago to get that punch. We have some percussion, a shake, a wooden shake, a clave, an open hat, 2 hats more compressed, a shaker, and an extra tom. So these are the samples that you get in the drum racks. I think they're all pretty great and you can get some real good sounding drums without having to do that much of effort. You get the drum effects as well, so that's pretty cool. So then we have the guitar. I'm pretty proud of this one because I managed to recreate the sounds that I normally use, but only with Ableton stock plugins, and I think that's pretty cool. You have a cool rack with a clean wobble sound. Really cool wobble in it. You can add some more compression if you want, or less. It's good for plugs. It's good for strumming. But also with just playing with your hands. We have a high gain preset. Also really good for plugs or melodies. We have a roomy guitar. We have a ambient guitar. With some added grains. Then we head over to the bass. The bass is also pretty straightforward because I think I only use a clean bass, maybe with a bit of drive and sometimes a bit of wobble. But you have this now in this preset. So you have the wobble. Bit of drive if you want. So that's the bass, pretty straightforward. And then last but not least, we have the VST instruments. We start off with an E piano. which you can use as a funky thing. But you can also use as a pad. So that's pretty cool. You can change some reverb, pitch, the release, the attack. That's pretty cool, and you have a cutoff. That's the E-piano. Then we have the pling. Which is a sample that I've created with my own Juno. That one. I recorded the sample on multiple tones and then I processed them. We have the Juno Short, which is also a sample I recorded. I think pretty cool. We have a sine preset. Which also could be a cool texture or maybe a pad. And the final thing is the triangle. Which is just a basic triangle wave with a bit of wobble, I think. Sounds a bit like a Wii or something, game video. On this you can put the Rindue texture effects. It's a different pack that's also available on the website. An audio effect rack that you can put on everything you want to give it more texture. So we have the basic triangle wave like this. Pretty boring, but then you can add the texture effects rack. You can add some noise, the saturation, also tape age. So it's a filter, you add some noise, you add some grains, more room, and some delay. So you have the presets, the subtle wobble, a bit broken, the bubbles, and a bit of room. But I really like the subtle wobble. You can put it on everything you want. So these are the things you get when you buy the Rindue Indie Producer Pack. I made a really cool selection in sounds that I most often use and recreate them with Ableton stock sounds. So you don't have to buy anything but this pack to get that indie pop sound. For the first week there's a 20% discount. It really supports the channel, but I also put a lot of work into this. And I hope you can get as much fun out of it as I had creating it. Please let me hear the things you made because I'm really curious in what you came up with. I hope you have fun with this pack. I hope you can create something cool. And maybe we can create some more packs if you'd be interested in that. If you would like a deep dive into the effects that I've used and how I created the effect racks, you can head over to Patreon because I'm giving a deep dive in how I created this whole pack. So please head over there if you want to see some more production tips. And for now, have a nice day. Bye bye.